welcome to episode 74 of TerrorVision Horror Podcast, Spoilercast. I'm one of your hosts, Dan McGuinness, and joining me on my midnight meat train is my co-host, Jennifer, the Dream Warrior Strand.
It's good to be back.
It is. Each fortnight, Jennifer and I set ourselves a horror movie to watch, and we go through it scene by scene and spoil the fuck out of it for all y'all. It's a deep dive into glorious gore, hard edits, cheesy acting, directing madness, severed wangs, and compound fractures, which are all our favourite things in movies.
Oh, yes.
In horror movies. Together we are two people with a love of horror, but we feel the burn of our obsolete blockbuster / Movieland memberships that are, oh my god. We just like to thank all of our listeners who support us over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and the YouTube, and a whole lot of other things on there. All you have to do is go onto the Google, and just type in TerrorVision Horror Podcast, TerrorVision one word, and you will find our shit out there.
Sweet.
We love you guys, and we like to shout out to the people who interact with us over the past fortnight, or whatever. People like Patrick Roberts, Adam Gillespie, Kevin Patterson, Sarah Sullivan, Adam Kister, Casey Illustrates, Underground Records, Kerry and John, who are apparently the directors of COOTIES.
Yeah.
Who talked to us.
Yeah, they've commented on our stuff. They've shared their post on their story. For me, that's kind of really cool.
And you may be wondering why they commented on our stuff. It's because we watched COOTIES this week.
We did.
Yes, but we also have a rating system, so you're not left sitting there at the end of it with your dick in your hand, which is one of my favourite sayings of all time. Tell us about our rating system, Steph.
All right. So, A, I feel that we should have this dick in your hands on a T-shirt. But anyway, A is awesome. Everybody should watch. B is a beer and chicken wing group movie. F is for fun and dumb. C is a classic that's worth a watch. U is underrated. O, an overrated motherfucker. G is good for its time but is not held up. We've got the J, Jen special, the D, Dan special. We've got a W, whatever. Pfft. We've got a Kesha, low budget hot mess, C-, crafty stellar, but I hate the content. And of course we have the McConaughey, the fucking fucked. We watched it. You don't have to. Yeah,
why did we watch it? We don't know. Fuck you, McConaughey. I watched something the other day that had McConaughey in it, and I was like, what? Oh yeah, it was Sing. You know, Sing, the CG movie about animals that sing, and McConaughey is the main voice.
Is he?
And Scarlett Johansson is the other voice.
Okay.
And like all these other people as well. You know when you just look into a CG movie and you find out, it's all these really famous people in it. Yeah. Sing. And the reason I watched it because I saw the Sing 2 trailer. Right, that was cool. You know, movies with songs in them are always cool. Fuck that shit. I don't want to talk about bullshit that's not horror.
I feel that I've watched Sing. It's got Taron Egerton.
Who's that?
He's the guy from Kingsman.
Yes, Eggsy. Yeah, he
Eggsy.
plays the gorilla.
Yeah.
The pommy gorilla.
With his tight pants. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that.
We want to talk about the movie we watched this week, which was COOTIES from 2014.
Yes, directed by Jonathan Millot and Carrie Murnion. I apologise if I've butchered your names.
Because they obviously clearly look at our hashtag.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Screenplays by Lee Wanell, Ian Brennan, and Josh C. Waller. It stars Elijah Wood, Alison Pill, Rainn Wilson, Lee Wanell, and I fucking hate this guy, Jack McBrayer.
Is he the sport guy?
No.
Who's he?
Jack McBrayer. He's Kenneth from 30 Rock.
Oh, you don't like him?
I fucking hate him.
He's funny and stuff. Because he always plays. He's very typecast. How much is this fucking movie worth?
So the budget, I couldn't find any information, but box office was like $581,000.
It doesn't seem very much.
It doesn't, does it?
I didn't think you could even make this film for that because there's a lot of special effects and. I mean, they had a whole. I mean, most of it is in one location. But anyhow, what's its tagline?
Please don't feed the children. A mysterious virus hits an isolated elementary school, transforming the kids into a feral swarm of mass savages. An unlikely hero must lead a motley band of teachers in the fight for their lives.
Yeah, kind of what it's about.
That's exactly what it's about.
Mass savages? I would just call them zombies.
Yeah, they're zombies. Yeah.
Anyhow, let's get straight into it. This is a zombie film, by the way.
It is.
So if you don't know about it, a zombie film with a bit of shine and polish on it. They've tried to do something a little bit different, which is nice.
Yeah, I like it. It's great.
And it opens to a chicken.
Yeah, this is pretty brutal.
You think it?
Well, look, if you don't like, if you have a problem with animals being hurt, then
Yeah, at first I was like that. So it opens and there's a guy and he comes in and he picks up and he breaks a chicken's neck. I'm not sure if it's real. I think it was because no one gives a shit about chickens in America.
That is very true.
And then this guy carries this, we don't see him. He's, off camera. So we're just seeing these chickens all in these pens and stuff like that. And then it basically goes into the credits. And the credits are basically, we see this chicken getting plucked, gutted, and then it goes through the whole process of how a chicken goes from being a chicken and into a chicken nugget.
Yeah.
And it's all real footage.
Yeah.
And then straight away I realized, I was supposed to not like that killing bit. It was supposed to show the brutalness and grossness of the chicken nugget industry, which is fucked.
It is fucked, and yet I still ate chicken nuggets the other day.
Oh, really?
I did.
Yeah, and it shows them. I don't even know why the chicken nugget factory would allow them to film this shit, because it makes them look real bad.
Yeah, it is absolutely disgusting, and I feel that there's probably a better way of having nuggets. There's basically no chicken in it by the end.
Yeah, and it shows them chemicalizing it, dyeing it back to a color that looks more appealing and shit. And at first I was repulsed, but then I was like, am I just a fucking hypocrite because I eat nuggets?
I mean, nuggets are great, but
it is that thing with at first you get angry, don't show me this, and then I'm like, no, I should see this.
Yeah.
If I can't handle seeing how my food is produced, I shouldn't fucking eat it.
Well, that's very true. If I was given the choice, if you want to eat this cow, you've got to go kill it. I wouldn't be able to kill a cow. I wouldn't eat it. I can't kill cows.
I grew up on a farm, so there's
them.
a lot of sheep killing.
Yep.
And then you eat the sheep.
Yeah. See, I couldn't do that. I'd go have some broccoli.
I once worked on a documentary, and it was called Halal Barbecue, and it was about a bunch of Muslims who kill a goat and then they eat it, but they do it there's prayers involved and not rituals, but things that they do, and it's all a big thing. And I've got to say, I've never eaten such nice meat, because we killed the goat that day and cooked on the barbecue. They salt it up and then they eat it all as a group thing. And they have to catch the goat. They're not allowed to have it, so they have to let it go in a massive field, and then you have to physically run out and catch it. That's part of their tradition.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
I did that 10 years ago. I was heaps hungover, and I was on sound, and there's a mic and there's a goat with its throat getting cut. They cut the throat and it was just gurgling, the blood coming out, and I fucking just vomited.
Yeah, I would.
Especially I was so hungover.
Oh, God, that's even worse.
Anyhow.
Anyway.
We follow this nugget.
Yes, we follow this group of nuggets.
We see one nugget that's in particularly fucking gross.
It's gross.
It's got a cyst on it.
Yeah.
Do you remember the
black.
cyst thing that happened with Hungry Jack's that time with the chicken burger? There was where the lady bit into it and a big cyst came out, pus everywhere, and it was a big deal. And anyhow, that's happening.
Awesome.
That's gonna happen. That's happening. So there's a big fucking nugget with a big greeny, browny cyst underneath in itself.
But yeah, so we see the nuggets they're on the conveyor belts, the process of creating
nuggets. The dodgy nugget?
Yeah, the dodge nugget.
The dodgy nugget.
And it gets packaged up, shipped out, arrives at a primary school, they unpack it, they fry them up, and then they serve it at lunch. This little girl sits down, she eats it.
This is all done through a series of kind of arty quick cuts.
Yeah.
This doesn't take long. It's like, the cuts are real quick. And it's like, oh yeah, I get what's happening here.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a cool way. We see from a chicken to a person eating a chicken nugget in a school in a couple of minutes. Pretty good.
It's really good. So that we bam straight into...
She bites into the nugget and the pus comes out, hits the screen. Oh, no. The title's over the pus or something like that. Yeah, it's like a Brain Dead style.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Cooties. Big white across the... It looks really good. It's very 2014.
She fucking eats it.
She does. So we hear this news report on a radio.
We're coming to a new scene.
Yes. So as a mum walks into a bedroom to wake up her son, and it's Meredith from The Office, which is great as well.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah. So there's a news report saying that there's just recall of chicken tenders, chicken nuggets. There's something happening.
There's a batch being recalled and stuff like that. But that's very in the background. You might if you're not listening, you miss it. It's lightly on the radio.
Yeah, which is how all zombie films start basically.
And now we get introduced to our protagonist, Clint, Elijah Wood.
Yes,
Elijah Wood. He's a writer.
He is. He's a struggling
writer living at home with his mom.
Yep.
Mum gives advice on his book. It's like, I love it, and then she just throws.
I love this as well because he's like, I'm not going to grow as a writer unless you give me constructive criticism. She's like, oh,
well, I didn't
basically it didn't make sense. I didn't like the characters. and basically just runs through this whole barrage of insults. And she's like,
which basically says the book is shit. Like every part of the book, she's like, I could, at no point in the book could I understand what was going on. I hated the characters. I didn't like how the book was written.
It's just really
And
poorly
then he
written.
like stops and she says, but I just love it.
But I totally love it. Like the mum thing, you know.
Yeah.
So we find out that he's back in Fort Chicken, which is the town that he's in, and he is teaching summer school.
Yeah, at a local primary school. He's teaching writing.
What I like about this as well is he's on his way to work and he's just pitching ideas into his little tape recorder for his book, but they're terrible. He's
and his book's
but
got-
it's the boat. The boat was evil, but not evil. Just a little bit of evil, but evil.
Yeah, but what was this story? What was it called? It was it was
Like Kill Them All or something?
Kill Hall.
Yeah.
Kill Them All. So it was about like a haunted boat, and then later on they go like, what? Like Christine, but a boat. And he's like, no.
It's not like Christine. It's got a boat.
Yeah. Anyhow, he gets to school. He meets the crossing guard, which is Hurley from Lost, the actor. Is that right?
Yeah, I think. Well, the guy is in Lost. He's the large.
Yeah, Hurley. I think his name was.
I don't know.
That big guy. He's like a crossing guard, wacky character who's fully into shrooms.
Yeah, he's waiting for his dealer to rock up and bring him some drugs.
Yeah, and that's it. He's introduced.
So Clint parks his car, and right up comes this fucking monster of a truck, like car. It's like a 4-wheel drive. It parks in next to him, blocks him in, and he basically can't get out of his car. You just hear this little Elijah Wood like, oh, hello, excuse me. Rainn Wilson jumps right out of his car. He is in track pants and cowboy boots.
What's his name in the...
Clint? He is Wade.
Wade.
Yep. And he gets out and he just slams the door and walks off, doesn't pay any attention to what's happening, doesn't really care.
Is that the guy from The Office?
Yeah.
The American Office
Dwight.
that plays Garth?
Dwight. Yep.
Gareth. No.
Gareth. Dwight.
Yeah.
Dwight Schrute.
Anyhow, that happens.
Yeah.
We get into... we see Clint walking through the yard. There's all... we're kind of introduced, like, just showing the grossness of all the children.
Yeah.
Like, as in, they're just normal kids. They're just doing stuff. But it's really... This movie's a massive commentary on, like, mid what am I trying to say? Working class, like gross fucking suburbia people.
Yeah.
Not middle class.
But basically,
upper middle class.
all of these children that he's walking past are all in some way or another obnoxious. They're being either overly coddled by their parents. Like there's this one kid that's in a helmet and she's like, you cannot take this off. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
There's some other kid that he kind of bumps into and she blasts him and she's like, you just need to be fucking spatially aware. What kind of kid talks
they're
like
all
that?
the most obnoxious parents. They're all the people that you hate. This whole film is based on hurting people that you want to hurt.
Yeah.
That you think about, I fucking hate you. Look at you. You're a fucking gross cunt.
Yeah.
Look, you're on your phone. You're not even looking at your kids. Like, those people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, upper middle class people that are too into themselves, basically. And these are their children.
Yep.
Yuck.
The next
Fuckhead.
generation.
And we have Elijah Wood comes in. Clint, he has a meeting with the principal. It's a comedy moment.
It is terrible.
We're not going to go over... I'm going to not try and redo the comedy in this film.
No.
Because that never works. And if you guys do want to watch it, you'll get the comedy for the first time. He's a funny character. He's like that. He takes all their the teachers' phones. You're like,
Yeah.
if the kids can't have phones, you can't have phones. I'm like, okay, so this is the reason why they're not going to have phones to call out straight away.
So he's trying to be like he's like, I'm not a mean principal. I'm the cool principal.
Yeah,
he's just a white.
He's one of those cringy characters. He's
Yeah.
kind of like a David Brent. Is this anything to do with The Office? Because there's lots of Office actors in it and kind of
There is.
same humour.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is, but I mean, it would be cool if it does. So Clint rocks up to the teacher's lounge, and we are then introduced to everyone. So we've got Tracy, Jack McBrayer, Rebecca.
Wait, slow down. So Tracy, yeah, that's the 30 Rock guy.
That's the 30 Rock guy.
Kenneth.
There's Rebecca, played by Nassim Pedrad. I really apologize. We see Wade again, Lucy, played by Alison Pill.
Is that Kim Pine from Scott Pilgrim?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
Yes, it is.
So I'm trying to work out if people can get these visualizations.
Yeah.
So Kim Pine from Scott Pilgrim, the guy from The Office,
Yep.
Kenneth from 30 Rock,
Yep.
and some others, I wrote.
And some others. So Clint and Lucy went to school together back in the day. So they immediately gravitate towards each other. And then we get a character in the background who's reading a book about how to socialize with people. And we are introduced briefly to Doug, played by Lee Whannell.
That's the guy that made Saw?
That's the guy that made Saw.
Yeah. He's Australian?
He is Australian, and he is the MVP of this movie.
Yeah, so his character is he has basically, it's kind of like an Asperger's almost.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have social skills, but he's aware of that.
Yes.
And he's fine with it because he's always trying to read books to better himself. Yeah, and he just says, basically a whole lot of character comedy happens in this scene. We're introduced to all the quirky characters, and let's just leave it at that. So then we cut to some horrible brats.
Oh.
Is that Patriot?
Oh, it's fucking Patriot.
So a bunch of horrible kids, and they're picking on the girl who ate the chicken nugget, who is clearly turning into a zombie.
Yeah, she's starting to look a little bit snotty and a little bit like... she's
got some boils on her...
Herpes. She's got the herpes.
Yeah, herpes and boils on her face, and she's like doing that kind of zombie... like she's not doing anything.
Oh, yeah. She's just sort of sitting there just snotting out of her nose. Just, it's gross. So Clint comes in, and he's like,
This is
okay,
in the class now. All the kids are in.
All the kids, before they start the class, they all just sit down and they start popping Adderall. So they're just like, okay, this is how they're going to pay attention. They're going to function as human beings.
Yeah, this is another thing about that upper middle class. They don't look after their kids. They just put them on fucking drugs to like calm them down because they're like, oh, that's not how kids should be.
Yeah, my kid has ADHD. No, he's not disciplined.
He's just a child, you fuckhead. Anyway, we're introduced to the kid named Patriot, and I'm like, oh my God, he is the encapsulation of everything that is wrong with the world.
Yeah.
He is like, you can tell his parents are right wings. He's like, his name's Patriot. And even like Elijah Wood's character, Clint, goes, your name's Patriot?
Yeah.
And he's like, my goal is like, I want to grow up and like be a soldier and go out and kill ragheads.
Yeah. He's racist, he's obnoxious, he's entitled, he's the kind of kid
He's white.
that clearly needs a belting and has never had
I don't know if belting's a word. He should have just been brought up from day one with different parents. That's the problem. Belting someone doesn't fucking solve anything. It just makes them into more bitterness.
Oh, this is true. So I don't believe in belting children, but if you're
going to belt them, you might as well just kill them.
Yeah, he's the kind of kid that does deserve to be knocked down a peg or two.
His parents need to be jailed for how he turned out. It's always the parents' fault, and it's always bullying. If there's a bully, they've been bullied. So you'd have a bit of sorry for the bully, but it's just a fucking hard.
Not really,
it's just hard because, the 80s just we took the approach of oh, that guy's a fuckhead, kill him in films. You know what I mean? And that's almost bullying, ingraining bullying. And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy that always gets back to you. I about 10 years ago, I stood back and looked at all the movies I used to love, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, the Rambos, all that shit, Lethal Weapon. I rewatched Lethal Weapon recently, and I'm like, oh my God, the main character, Mel Gibson, is a fuckhead.
Yeah.
He is so horrible. Mm-hmm. And they constantly just they break the rules so they can kill people.
Yes.
And it's just like, why did we think this was cool? And why are we going, oh my God, people go out and kill people when they got a problem with them? Oh, it's because we were taught that's great.
It's true.
And Jello Biafra was right the whole time.
Somewhere in the world,
get off my fucking soapbox now and
enjoy
just
your
talk
soapbox.
about a film. Sorry, guys.
I love a soapbox. It's great. So we also cut in between the teachers sort of having their moment of teaching. We see that Rebecca is like this weird teacher who is kind of like very feminist, anti-men, anti a lot of things.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he just bumps into her, doesn't he? And she's like, yeah, and I hated her.
Yeah.
Straight away, because I'm like, I understand, the equal rights and the feminism and stuff and all that, but when someone takes it to extremes, that he just basically looks at her and she's like, I've got rape spray in my bag, and he's like,
oh, okay,
oh shit, yeah,
sure.
So everyone in this movie is extremes of bad ways people can be, and it's kind of cool. They're all one version of this one problem.
And we cut into Doug as well. He's teaching a biology class, and it's really funny because he's so he's got that costume on with the body and the brain attached to his head, and he's like, so the stomach cancer took the cancer took his stomach, the dementia took his brain. Anyway, that was my weekend, so let's start. It's
he's the most endearing character, and he's the most dislodged from reality character in this. I actually think Elijah Wood is just playing. His character is so pussy in this.
Oh yeah, he's a little bitch.
Anyway. And I don't say pussy in a way that it means that vaginas aren't cool, because I love vaginas. As does Jen.
As does I.
And Patriot starts paying out him and his mate, the girl, again, because she's sitting and he grabs their ponytail and it just comes off with her scalp.
Yeah.
And he's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And just none of the teachers notice any of this shit's happening.
No. So she immediately attacks him, bites him in the face, and just runs out of the classroom.
Yeah, attacks Patriot, which it's like, sucked in. But it shouldn't be.
No.
And then, like, Elijah Wood's like, oh, fuck, there's a fight.
Yeah, so he breaks up the fight. He takes Patriot to the nurse, and he's basically like, this kid needs to go to the hospital. And he's like, nah, he's fine. Aren't you, Patriot? You're a big, strong, tough man. You just walk it off.
School nurse not knowing what they're doing.
No.
We cut to the traffic monitor guy from Lost, Hurley, and he's bought his shrooms, and he's in his van. He's basically his Scooby-Doo van. And he's just like, middle of the day, just having a shroom, and he's like starting to trip out. So we're getting this guy. He's a wacky drug guy.
Yeah, it's glorious.
So that's happening. Patriots and his friends, this is all going on. It's all happened.
Yeah, so this has all happened. The teachers are back in the teachers' lounge. It's now recess.
Kids are out in the
kids are out in the playground. The Nugget girl is like digging a hole.
She's like dog digging on the side of the fence.
She's trying to sort of get under the fence. The
like
other
in a
bully,
animalistic way.
Yeah, the other bully who was with Patriot, he comes running up to the Nugget girl, and she ends up like slapping him across the face, but it cuts him in the face.
Yeah, he gets up to get in her face at first. Like, what the fuck you do to my friend? She just scratches at him.
Yeah.
Basically, and then the shroom guy, it cuts to him in his van, and he just sees, and this causes a chain reaction. So this zombie effect or whatever's happening with this chicken nuggets, it happens instantly.
Yeah.
So as soon as this kid gets scratched, basically from him getting scratched to him looking up, he's already changed.
Yeah.
And he looks around and just attacks another kid, and it's just you see this chain reaction happening, and the guy who's in his van and shrooms is seeing all this happen, but he just doesn't know if it's happening.
He thinks he's just tripping balls. But this is also like how much of a little bunch of assholes these kids are is because they're just running around infecting everyone else. Like they're playing tag essentially with like the scratching. He's turning all these other kids into zombies because he's a dickhead.
Yeah.
That is it.
So, and then we've got the teachers that are out on like yard duty and shit, and we get this very Shaun of the Dead style scene where none of them are noticing what's actually happening.
Yep.
So, these kids are starting to like kill, scratch each other out, and then they start killing people, but none of the teachers are watching them because none of them are doing their job of actually watching. We got the sport guy, what's his name?
Wade.
He's just like shooting hoops.
He's just playing bus. He's like, come on, what is happening today? He's just having a good old time, not even just paying any attention.
Yeah, the principal looks out like the window and he sees all the kids killing stuff and killing each other. He runs out and he's like, oh no, that's not going to happen. And then all the kids turn on him and rip him apart on the ground. And we get this very homage to Day of the Dead. Like the exact scene of the guts getting ripped out, but they're children doing it to it. So this film has a lot of cool violence in it. The only problem with it is because their kids are the main protagonists. No violence is really that much towards the kids. So, I mean, there is like one bit at the end, which is probably the one they could get in, which we'll talk to when it gets to it. But, so at first I was like, oh, man, they're going to fucking wreck these kids because it'll be heaps funny. But,
well, I think that's how you get away with the MA rating that we got instead of the R rating.
Yeah, I was really, at this point in the film, going, I can't wait to have these kids explode, arms cut off, faces got stomped into the curb stomped children. I was looking for
Kid carnage.
Because I thought it was going to be like all these are all like comedians in here and they're like edgy comedians. I thought we were going to have some edgy kid killings, but no.
Patriot at this point, he has killed the nurse and he escapes the office.
Yep.
So he is a very aware kind of little zombie cootie kid.
It's like his hate has fueled him into being a leader zombie.
Yep. So back in the teacher's
zombie
lounge, Lucy and Clint are having a real good catch up. They're having a chat. Doug walks in, he kind of looks out the window, he's like, oh look, carnage, and they look out the window and see all of this shit happening in the playground.
So now all the characters are finally aware of what's going on.
Yeah,
they're like, oh my god, the kids are attacking everyone in the playground. Cool.
Including Wade, who turns around, notices them. He's still outside. He notices, and then he's just like, oh shit. He makes a break for it, and he basically like just hip and shoulders a bunch of kids.
Yeah, he's basically
just like clotheslining children, making a break to get back inside, close the doors, and lock the doors.
All of his sports skills, and it's a montage of him taking out like rugby or gridiron style kids, clotheslining them and shit. And I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So he gets inside.
We cut right back to Patriot. So we cut through between the teachers and Patriot quite a lot because Patriot's just being a little turd somewhere. He's always doing something to fuck everyone up.
He's in the background.
So he's now currently in the one of the administrational offices, and he is just ripping out phone lines. He's ripping out wiring. He is just putting this
He's
school
stomping
into
on all their
darkness.
mobile phones, which have been confiscated.
Yep.
And then, I don't know how this happened. If I missed it, a cop rocks up.
Yes.
Did someone call a cop?
I think one of the vice principal or someone called a police officer. He rocks up. He looks like one of the biggest stoners out there as well.
Well, he is Badger from Breaking Bad. He is one of the stoners,
okay.
like that actor. Yeah, so imagine Badger from Breaking Bad.
He was the guy in Brightburn that got his face shoved into the steering wheel.
True.
Yeah.
So he's just, like a young cop. Anyhow, is it the Nugget Girl?
Yes.
Nugget Girl is now burrowed under the fence and
Yeah.
out because this is one of those inner city schools. They're fucking locked in by a big gate because they don't want to deal with pedos.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's dug under the fence, fucking, rabbit-proof fence style.
run off. Meanwhile, he's talking to the kids, sticks his finger in the fence.
He's like kind of just talking to them. They're all like, like zombie, like behind a fence, Walking Dead style.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what are you kids doing?
And then he sticks his finger in. They bite his finger off through the fence. Meanwhile, the crossing guard's sitting there, just emptying the rest of the bag of mushrooms
Yeah, because he's
into
seen a
his
cop
mouth.
rock up. And he goes, I'm not going out for that. So he eats the whole bag of shrooms.
He's about to fucking trip his balls off. Meanwhile, the cop is now bleeding. He's lost his fingers. He jumps into his car
But
and
then
he's
Nugget Girl.
trying to wrap himself up. Nugget Girl, of course, she pops up from behind and she attacks.
Yeah,
and we get that
a really
cool splattering effect.
a splat on the windscreen, which is like, one of those ones where you're like, it's cool, but there's no way that could have happened.
Yeah.
How does a child explode a human? Anyhow.
It's the best time to not ask those questions.
Anyhow, Patriot, he now bursts in, suddenly, that scene's happened.
Yep.
Patriot now bursts into the staff room where all the main characters are.
Yep.
He jumps onto Clint and gives him, they roll around for a while and they're fighting, everyone's like panicking and all that. But then there's this isn't just another teacher.
Yeah, it was like kill fodder teacher.
Yeah, she's standing there and Patriot sees her, runs at her, grabs her, and she kind of falls backward into a cupboard.
Yep.
Into a metal locker cupboard, and it slams the door and it locks.
Yeah.
And so that lady's clearly dead.
Yeah.
And we just hear like...
Yeah.
So
Which is really cool as well.
And I'm like, I'm like, oh, man, she's fucking dead.
Oh, yeah, she gone dead.
But I didn't know if that was I thought that was one of the main characters, but it wasn't. She was just cannon fodder, yeah.
Yeah, just cannon fodder. So the teachers make a break for it and they run into the library just to sort of get away, I think they're going to make their way upstairs to the roof. They come across a young kid called Calvin,
yep.
who is adorable. We were introduced to him at the very beginning of the film.
He's like a nice kid.
Yeah, he's just a nice, sort of quiet, well-behaved kid. They kind of,
He joins their group.
He joins the
He's
gang.
in the gang. He's not changed.
No, he is fine. He is not a zombie kid. He is a happy-go-lucky little kid. Patriot, he gets loose from the cupboard. He fucking goes and he just starts unlocking all the doors and letting all the other zombie
kids
kids
are in the main building. And like, cute. So everyone runs up to they see this is happening. They run up to the second floor and they lock themselves into the second floor of the 2-story building.
Yes.
case you
Meanwhile,
wanna paint a
Nugget Girl,
picture.
Nugget Girl has somehow made her way back into the building, and they find her face pressed up against the door, looking in at them. And Calvin he's like, she's got cooties. So he's basically the one that's like, well, she's just got cooties. It's cooties.
Yeah, guys,
That's what
cooties is cooties just basically girl germs? I don't know what cooties actually are.
Well, I think cooties is an actual thing, but
Is it?
Yeah. But cooties is like a boy germ, girl germ thing.
It is a thing? I'm going to look it up and see what it is while you keep talking.
Okay. Of course, Doug, being the science teacher that he is, he's absolutely fascinated by this.
Oh, are you ready?
Yeah.
Cooties is a fictitious childhood disease.
Oh, it is fictitious.
Commonly represented. Yeah, so it's not real.
Oh.
You can...
I thought it would be like lice or something.
Yeah. No, it's you can. I'm just tracing it on here. It's a fictitious disease. It was used in the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So we're the only ones to do it. It has in the Philippines has a rejection term and an infection tag game.
Oh.
Yeah, weird. So it's got a thing. And there was all this fake, documentation about it, like these bugs that apparently were spreading. And this is fucking not real.
I love that. That brings me joy.
I think originally it was like... Yeah, anyhow.
I just figured Cooties was lice.
Yeah, I think it's what it turned into.
Yeah, fair enough. So they now devise a plan. They're going to grab a weapon. They're going to make a break for it out to the cars. Of course, Clint and Wade have got some tension between them because Wade and Lucy are together, but Clint clearly has a bit of a boner for Lucy.
Yeah,
and she kind of has a boner for him too.
Yeah, she just kind of likes the idea that because the whole thing is he was a big writer that went to New York and because he was originally from this town and now he's moved back.
Yeah.
He's living with his mum and we know that he's just a fucker. He never worked out kind of thing. And I don't know if you said it while I was looking up, but Clint reveals that he's been scratched.
Not yet.
Oh, that's my next note. So I guess I skipped a whole bunch of shit.
No, that's okay. Because they keep fighting and Lucy basically, she breaks up the fight. She's like, we need to wait until 3. We can signal for help before someone comes and opens the gate.
But that's their plan. Wait for 3 o'clock for the parents to come pick up the kids and then we can signal from the roof or whatever. Like, cool. And then, but there was, at this point, I'm pretty sure Clint reveals to just her.
Yes. Also, Clint starts to feel a bit funny. He then reveals he's been scratched. Wade locks him in a closet and he starts to kind of throw up.
It's a supply room, yeah.
Yeah.
He starts, to look like a piece of shit and he's sick, he's vomiting, he's basically got diphtheria.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but Doug is once again super interested in this and he's like, I'm going in. So he goes in to talk to Clint.
The guy that can't read a room, he basically has this scientific knowledge that he shouldn't have, which is hilarious.
He's a genius.
So he's a genius. So he's like studying the children. So he's looking at them through the glass when they're on the other side of the doors and he comes to conclusions. So he basically just moves the whole plot along by him with his science, which I kind of liked. It was funny.
He's fantastic. So Doug comes out and he informs the teachers that he is infected, but it's not the same as the kids. He's basically just experiencing flu-like symptoms. And this is where we get he's like, and they're like, well, how do you know? And he's like, because, I did what any scientist does and I checked his fecal matter. Because he's like, oh, he's thrown up, he's had some diarrhea, he's pooped his pants a little bit. And he's like, I'm wearing gloves. And they're like, no, you're not. And he's just standing there with shit-covered hair. Oh, Doug.
We cut back to the traffic monitor freaking out still because now he's taking his whole bag of shrooms.
he's fucked.
We get a little bit of comedy interlude there.
This is great though because we cut back now to a playground montage and it's basically just a playground montage of carnage.
Yeah.
So the kids are doing what kids do best. There's puddle jumping, but it's jumping in blood puddles.
I wrote them all down. There's totem tennis with a head on the end of the ball. There's they're playing marbles with eyeballs.
Yep.
Intestine jump rope and shit like that. And this was cool.
Yeah.
This was their big all their gore prop moment. There's lots of cool blood in this film. The blood looks good.
Yeah, it does.
I was like, I'm like, yes, this is an ample amount of blood for what has been happening.
Yeah. There's one kid riding around on a bike with the finger in the spoke of the bike.
Yeah, my mum was watching it with me and she laughed at that. She thought it was funny. Yeah, instead of the playing card, it's a finger, but...
I love that your mum watches all these films with you.
Because she's there, someone has to look after my baby.
We need to bring your mum on for an episode.
No.
No.
Never.
Never?
She doesn't understand how life works or humour.
Okay. Neither does my mum, but I love her anyway.
Yeah, my mum thinks humour is just people getting hurt. You should see it when someone gets really hurt in front of her. She just laughs so hard she cries.
My mum thinks toilet humour is great. And I love that about my mum. Anyway.
Anyhow, the gang. The whole gang, they run up onto the roof. It's now 3 o'clock and they're going to yell out for the parents to get help.
Mm-hmm. So one mum rocks up in her SUV because of course she does. She's on the phone.
She's in her gym gear. She's come from the gym.
No, she hasn't. That's just her. That's her daily wear.
Yeah, the gym gear, whatever it is.
the Lorna Jane.
No, what do they call it? They call it active wear.
Yeah. She's
in active wear. She's in an SUV. She's on the earplug phone or whatever. I can't even fucking talk. And they're all like, no, stop, don't let the kid into your car. And she's just ignoring. And the kids get in the back and they're like,
It's great as well because this little kid, he's like running with his arms down at his sides.
Well, there's a baby.
With a backpack.
There's a baby in the back.
Oh, yeah.
As in like a newborn. And we just see that newborn just get killed by the kids straight away. And I'm like, ooh.
It
dang.
does. Yeah.
But that of course, it doesn't get killed. It gets turned.
It gets turned because the baby then attacks the mum, which is cool. We get this little zombie baby. For a brief second, I wanted more zombie baby.
Yeah, I wanted more. I mean, but who can beat Brain Dead's zombie baby? No one. Why even try?
Ever. They could have montaged that and I would have been happy. So they're up on the roof still. They find out that there's pretty much nothing that they can do right now. But they also rescue a non-cootie kid. All the other kids are in like hot pursuit of them, but she's managed to climb up to the roof somehow.
She's a bit older than the other kids as well, being held back.
Yes.
So now we've got Calvin. Was that the first kid's name?
Yes.
Calvin, and I can't remember her name.
It'll come up. I'm sure
it'll come up. Anyway, so now, cool. Now they've got 2 kids and in the gang, and all of a sudden the kids get up on the roof. They start. I suppose they get up how the other girl got up. They get up a tree or something.
Yeah.
So they're on the camp, so they all have to bail from the roof. The plan is off. Mm-hmm. And then we get so they get inside. There's some kids there, and we get a scene where like Wade basically crushes a kid's head with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, he bludgeons the blonde bully basically just to death with a fire extinguisher.
And this goes for a long time, and you get this right. It's one of those brutal scenes. You know, like in Shaun of the Dead when it's funny until there's one brutal scene.
Yeah.
So we got this like over and over again smashing this fire extinguisher.
We don't see it. It's kind of off screen.
Oh, it does show the face in the end of the kid. And he's just got blood on it, and I'm like, it would have crushed.
He would have just been everywhere.
It would have been a smoosh. It would have been a melon getting hit by a fucking wrecking ball ridden by Miley Cyrus.
Of course. Doug, of course, he's decided he's going to dissect the kid.
Yeah,
he wants to find out what's happening.
He dissects the kid's brain.
We find out that the young girl, the non-cootie kid, she has actually been scratched. And we're a little bit worried because at any moment,
But they turn instantly. So there's something...
something's not quite right.
It's a...
We get this little news report back in the crossing guard in his van, and it's like, stay inside, there's like something's happening, kids are attacking people. I think at this point he's talking to a giraffe.
We're back to shrooms, man. It's just got a bit more story that it's not just happening in this school, it's happening like statewide or whatever.
Yep.
And he looks over because he's had a whole bag of shrooms. There's a giraffe, a CG giraffe sitting next to him, talking to him. It's funny, I suppose.
It's
I've
okay.
never done shrooms. It's one of my regrets in my life. I always wanted to do shrooms, but I never had access to them.
Yeah, same. I also don't trust enough people to do certain drugs around people. They're more of like you do them in the comfort of your own home.
I've always romanticised about me and my wife doing it like MDMA one night on a Saturday by ourselves at our house in the safety of our house.
Yeah.
But apparently there's like, I'm not going to get into that story in case it incriminates someone. Anyhow.
We don't incriminate people.
Anyhow, Doug works out through looking at the brain of the child that he has just dissected and pulled out because he has no social skills whatsoever. That basically, if you've gone through puberty, all you do is get a flu-like symptoms and basically shit and vomit for a couple of minutes and you're fine.
And then you're done.
But if you're a kid and you get it, you turn into a ravenous beast. And I'm like, cool. Yeah. I don't have to have any of that bullshit in every zombie film where there's the secret scratcher.
Yeah.
Or the guy that's like not gonna say anything and they're gonna have to deal with him later. So they have nothing to lose now.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. They're not going to get killed.
They're fine.
So now you can have more brutal scenes with the characters without having them all go, oh, well, now they're fucked.
Yeah.
So now they can, like, get really hurt. And I was like, cool. Now people can get hurt and it's not the end of the world. Anyhow, bang, the lights go out.
Fucking Patriot
has fucked up. There's no power left in the school.
And
because it's like 3 p.m. and it's like, America, it's now dark. Now, we assume it's probably about 6. It's getting dark.
Yeah, it's getting dark. It's getting late. Everyone's left. They're just there by themselves. Patriot's still running around somewhere because he is basically a dog with a bone. He is not giving up on this.
Yeah, he's kind of like just fucking with everyone because that's his nature.
Yeah, he's a piece
of shit. He's that, the zombie in, like, was it the one of the Day of the Dead remake Snyder ones where the guy that's, like, realizes he gets a sentient thought, he's that guy.
Yep.
There's no reason. Doesn't matter. Zombie film. Anyhow, the gang.
Yep.
They're in the dark. They hear some thumping noises. What could happen? What could happen? What could that be? What is it, Jen?
It's a janitor.
The janitor.
The janitor rocks up. And he rocks up just as the Cootie Kids burst through the other door, and he leads them down to the boiler room where he actually lives
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, it's just a joke kind of thing. The boy, yeah, the janitor lives
In
on
the
the
boiler
ground
room,
kind of thing. Freddy Krueger.
We see this emergency evacuation of the city on the TV screen in his little boiler room apartment.
Yeah, like one of those, what are they? Like the pre-recorded messages.
Yeah.
It's just on a loop.
Yes.
Yeah, I like those. I love like the end of the world apocalypse broadcast. I love a good apocalypse broadcast.
And they find out that they are utterly alone. Meanwhile, young Calvin, we find out he is diabetic. He's having a bit of a moment, and they need to get some food into him ASAP.
Now, I have just, I was pre-diabetic. Everyone knows that, who probably listens to the show. I've been now classified as diabetic.
Oh, no.
And I was like, does this mean I have to eat lollies? Because I've never been allowed to eat lollies for fucking about 10 years.
Yeah, right.
And
You're not missing anything. Lollies are the worst.
I'm like, I'm not that kind of diabetic.
Aww.
No, I do not get the sugar lows. I'm still on no sugar, so fuck everyone.
Lollies are the worst anyway.
I'm more thinking about some creme brulees. I still love a creme brulee.
Yeah, right.
A panna cotta.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
A fucking, a
Can you
vanilla
maybe-
slice from Banana Boogie.
Oh, yeah. I did go there and get something. I can't remember what it was.
If you
but
didn't get that, you're a fuckhead.
No, because I can't eat that.
Oh, you're a fuckhead
I can't
anyway.
eat vanilla slice.
Slice?
Yeah.
Talk.
It's my life.
Slice? Anyway, fuck this. Anyhow, they hear the emergency broadcast.
Yep. They decide that there is a snack machine in the teacher's lounge. Wade's keys are also in the teacher's lounge. So what they're going to do is they're going to go through the vents. They're going to get a snack for Calvin. They're going to get the keys. They're going to get in Wade's dual rear wheel car, and they're going to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, because there's that ongoing joke that no one can say dual rear wheel car.
Yeah. It's just him going dual.
Yeah, and it's because he's got his car's so big that it has four wheels, like a double axle or whatever
It's
it is.
such an American car.
Yeah.
So they decide that this is what's going to happen. But unfortunately for Clint, being the smallest out of everyone, he's the one that's going to have to go in, go get it all, be the hero, and come back.
So
he's really not okay with it.
He goes into the vents anyway. He starts on his mission, and then Lucy,
She starts fucking yelling.
She snaps and tells everyone how much she hates them.
Yeah. Because she's like this very sort of happy-go-lucky kind of, very positive, like everything's okay, it's always a smile, it's not a problem.
She's going out with a fuckhead, but always fuckheadness, she just kind of wipes it back with a smile, and until she sees this other guy's come in and something better coming along. Like he's proven to her that there is more to life than just dealing with fuckheads all day.
Dual rear wheel.
And anyhow, she goes, fuck this shit. He went in there. Fuck, I'm going in the vent as well.
Yep.
And then she goes into the vent against Wade's wishes because he actually likes his girlfriend.
Yes. It's quite sad because he's a dickhead, but he does love her.
Yeah.
And she's just on the Elijah Wood dick train now.
Anyhow, they're crawling through the vent. We get this, scene where there's a girl on a Freddy Krueger tricycle.
Yeah, she's just sort of wheeling around, and they're in a vent under the floor. So there's like a vent in the floor. She's kind of going
between
around
the two
it.
stories.
Yeah. And there's just like the kid stops. And it's just like, oh, have they been made? But it's okay. It's just a bit to sort of get you a bit tense.
It's a bit of panning out the story so that it goes for the real length of a film.
Yep.
And they get to the vending machine.
Yes. Lucy grabs the keys. Clint is having trouble feeding his dollar into the machine. And it's just that nice little moment of comedy in this situation where it could have been you just fucking break the machine, grab the candy, run off, and he's there trying to
do the right
rub
thing.
the money up against the thing. He's smoothing it out, and he's like, oh, come on, why isn't
He's still
this
trying to be
working?
quiet, so yeah. So Lucy goes and gets the phone, so they've split up now.
Yeah.
But
all the phones are unfortunately broken. She kind of slips back into the air duct, but of course Patriot hears. And he's like, what the fuck's happening? He comes running in. The tricycle
girl,
Cootie Kid, she starts screaming like this horrific.
she rolls in and sees Clint doing his thing, and she screams, which is basically a zombie roll call.
Yeah,
right?
it's like it's to notify Patriot, who comes running in, and now they are being chased through the air ducts
With all the kids.
with the two kids.
So they've all jumped back in.
Yeah.
Lucy's back with Clint. They're going through the air ducts. They make their way out into another room. Hang on, this is the room. I don't know what's going on here. They kind of just
So they kind of split up. So rather than going, they kind of like chuck the candy bar into the vent so the kid can eat his candy bar.
But they don't want to lead the zombies into that room.
Yeah,
and then
so they keep going while they're barricading up the air vents.
Yep,
so
that's
they
right.
can't
Yeah,
get
so
out.
Lucy and Clint go to their own kind of room. They get out and lock themselves in. They push a desk across it and that. They have some moments in this scene. He just says he's a fucking loser.
Yeah.
He admits that nothing's gone right for him. She admits that her boyfriend's a fuckhead.
Mm-hmm.
They have a moment. They have a kiss. They do a little bit of a kiss, and yeah. And then Clint looks over and he sees like all the kids. They're in the room where the kids keep their school bags. And he's like, "Oh fuck! All the kids have drugs in their school bags. Adderall. Let's drug them all." So he tosses all the pills out the window and all the kids just run in like ravenous dogs and eat all the pills.
Which is fantastic. So while that is happening, we get a suiting up montage of all the teachers still in the boiler room. They're kind of just grabbing whatever they can.
This is Commando. You remember the movie Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger? He's like his Evil Dead, Army of Darkness. You know, he's like mounting, you know, the close shots of the making shit.
Yeah.
Like real fast, quick. Yeah, and they're making their cool weapons. So they're zombie film weapons. So like, you know, baseball bats with...
Except for fucking Doug, who has made a taser.
Yeah.
He's made a giant fucking taser. Like a horse cattle prod thing.
Yeah, so they're all in like, you know, Wade's in like gridiron gear. They've all got their made like Dead Rising like weapons kind of thing, you know, like sticks that have buzzsaws on the end and shit. And I was like, I appreciate a good weapon.
Yeah.
Making scene in any movie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel they needed like a hedge trimmer or something in it though, because they, you know, there's grounds on the thing. They could have had a couple of electrical, battery powered tools these days. You don't need to plug them in.
No, that would have been fine.
All my Ryobis, they all have batteries. Anyhow.
Well, this is really cool as well, because now we get the scene of the teachers have broken out and they are now making their way through the halls, but Wade is leading the troop with what can you describe? This is like a ball launcher.
Yeah, so what it is, it's a play on the Steadicam gun from Aliens that they had, you know, the big gun.
Yeah.
It's like that. So Wade basically looks like a space marine.
Yes.
But he's dressed in like, you know, gridiron gear, has a helmet. He's got the Steadicam gun, but his gun is a baseball pitcher.
Yeah.
And those things fucking pitch baseballs. And we get this whole montage of him going down the hall, like, in slow motion, pelting baseballs into the faces of children.
Yeah.
Now, I really wanted some heads exploding in this scene.
I know you did.
Or at least some blood.
Yeah.
But it's not...
We got some, but it wasn't quite to the satisfaction of
it's like a deluxe moment. It could have just been exploding heads. Like, it could have been glorious, but they held back like motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, it's kids. It's kids. But you got to remember, we need ratings.
Also, the kids are sedated now. Like, half of them are asleep on drugs, and the other half are just kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why they can get out kind of a bit better. But it doesn't matter anyway, because they can't... But, you know, they can still get bit and they're fine. So they can take a bit more risk now. But that was okay. The janitor, who is a stereotypical Asian man.
Yes, his name is Hitachi.
Yeah, he starts doing kung fu on the kids because, you know, he's Asian. He has kung fu.
Yeah, why not? So he decides he's going to stay behind while everyone else makes breaks.
He makes the noble sacrifice, the samurai sacrifice.
So they're out on the playground now and they are all taking on all of these kids. One way or another, there's like, you know, the kids being tased, the kids being hit with a ball, kids being like smacked with a hockey stick.
Still not as violent as it should be.
No, it 100% needed more violence, but...
compared to that montage of the adults getting killed, this is like...
Well, you can do more to an adult.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
It's very dark and it's hard to see as well.
It is.
It's very dark.
Everyone gets to the truck, but Wade, he throws the keys at Clint and he decides that he's going to do the heroic thing as well, and he takes on all of the kids so that everyone else can make a break for it.
Yeah, so the sports guy sacrifices himself for the greater good. But this is a weird moment because he's like, you know, keep my my girlfriend's safe. And,
Yeah.
and they've already kind of broed out a bit now.
Yeah.
Like, we forgot to mention that Clint
They've had some
and Wade
moments.
are like, they've bonded now.
Yeah.
Even though he's kissed his girlfriend. And which makes him even more of a spineless git. And so Wade gets overwhelmed by the kids, and we see him
He just goes down.
he goes down into a fucking pile of kids, and so they're like, no, and now they all they get away. The gang drives off.
Yep.
In fucking the dual wheel.
Dual rear wheel.
Dual rear wheel, yeah.
But of course, being the big old fucking truck that it is, it gas immediately. It's on empty.
Yep.
They need to get somewhere real quick.
guzzler.
Otherwise, yeah, of course.
But then they realise, what the fuck's that? Patriots on the roof.
Fucking kid. This kid is the worst.
Fucking Patriot. The last zombie is still... Anyhow, he's kind of on the roof and shit and that. They're swerving and all that. He slammed... who's driving? Clint's driving?
Clint's driving.
He slams on the brakes and it fucking...
launches Patriot, which I love as well, because he hits the ground face first, and we see the slide, we see the blood trail, and you're like, take that, you fucking little turd.
He slides about a good 7 meters.
It's good.
He gets up, and we see him turn around into the headlights, and we see that his whole... This is the gore bit.
Yeah.
His whole jaw is missing from sliding on the road.
It's just kind of like
and I'm
hanging
like, if
there.
you can fucking do this...
Oh my God, it's just
why do you
hanging
do it
there,
the
and
whole
he's looking mad as well. Like, you can see the look in his eye. Like, this kid is fucking pissed.
And cause now he's behind the car for some reason.
Yeah.
I think they drive past him and stop and look back.
Yeah, because then he gets up.
And then, he gets up and looks around. He's still alive. And he's like, fucking what?
Ugh.
And he's like, nah. And they put the car into reverse. And they reverse into Patriot. And he gets... His jaw hole goes into the toe ball goes into his jaw hole.
Yeah.
Sticks into the truck. And then they are at full reverse speeds crush him into a big fucking oak tree. Crunch.
That is probably where they were able to do all of the kid violence, was this one scene.
Well, I reckon they blew all their kids' violence. Now, I think they might have even had more kids' violence when they first made this cut of this film, and they had to pull it all back.
I want an uncut version of this where all the kids get maimed.
Same here. And now this looked great. This was I was like, fuck yeah. Gore kid.
I always forget that scene, and then every time it pops up, because I've watched this movie a fair amount, every time it pops up, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's so
not
good.
only do they rip his jaw off, they fucking... and then, fucking got to put a toe ball through his head.
And
they also pulverize him to basically red mist.
Yes, but it's such a satisfying death for such a turd of a child.
I know, but we shouldn't be idolizing the death of a child. We should be getting angry at his parents for and their parents before them for ingraining this way of thinking into the thing.
I know.
Only through education is the world going to get better. Through teaching.
It is, but sometimes a kid needs a fucking kick in the
No.
dick. I know. Damn it.
I know. Anyhow, they make it out. They make it into the town. I'm like, this could be the end. This could have been the end of the film. I would have been satisfied with that. Could have made it a short film.
We love a short film. We're very busy people.
Yeah, short films, man. Bugger this bloody Bond film. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. You're not fucking Endgame, mate. You don't have Thanos in there. Maybe it was Bond fighting Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an opportunity they missed.
Still has no need to be that long.
Anyhow,
the town
they
is
make it
empty.
to the town. It's all post-apocalyptic. It's all dark. It looks like a set.
It does, yeah.
It's a main street. It's got the cinema.
Yep.
It looks like, the main square from Back to the Future.
Yep. So it's deserted. There are just trucks.
There's little fires around everywhere and implying, oh my God.
Something happened
No one's
here.
putting out a small fire. It must be the end of the world. So, yeah, look out. There's a barrel with a fire in it. Society's already reduced to hoboism.
The hobo uprising is here.
The hobo mafia.
How will we survive? We get this. The truck is officially out of gas. They've got nowhere to go. There's breaking news. It is everywhere.
They're watching a TV in
It's
a TV shop.
pandemic. Oh, yeah, because that still
that's
happens.
That's how 90% of Americans get their news. Apparently, if I've watched anything.
If not on Facebook.
But
Doug then pipes up and he's like, if this is a pandemic, it's a virus. Like, if I just get hold of it, I can make a vaccine. I'm like, fucking Doug, you're a primary school biology teacher. But I believe in Doug. I believe he could do it.
Anyhow, they've worked out they need to make a vaccine from what was it? From like Patient Zero or something?
I think they've decided that
No, they
needed nugget, don't they?
They needed the original nugget. Yeah, that's right.
They need a nugget.
They need a nugget from the original batch of bad nuggets.
Yeah.
Cool. Lucky they were that like the chicken nugget factory is what sponsors basically their town. Their whole town runs on the nugget industry.
Yeah.
I think their soccer team was called the Nuggets or whatever. Yeah.
Very much
We
so.
forgot to mention that.
Yeah. It's not really.
Anyhow, the kids show up.
Fucking hell.
The zombie horde of children. They run in.
So they run into a building, any building, doesn't matter which one, and they see, with lights and torches that they've somehow now got, they see nuggets.
They've run into...
Nuggets and birthday party decorations, dead employees on the floor, and we're like...
They basically run into like a... what is it? Like a Chunky Cheese.
Like a Wiggly Worms?
Yeah. Wiggly Worms, Chunky Cheese. Fucking... What was the Nicolas Cage film recently? The Wonderland one?
Oh, Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like those like birthday party establishments that everyone... I can't think of anything worse, hey. Imagine working at one of them.
No.
Every day dealing with fucking kids on sugar.
No.
Fuck them.
No. I'd be serving up healthy snacks. Everybody, we're going to have some healthy carrot sticks and then nap.
Carob. I just reversed my fucking truck into them all into a tree, even if they weren't zombies. Anyhow, that's not how we fix the problem. Let's move on.
That is not.
Anyhow, they find some chicken nuggets within like 4 meters of them devising the plan.
Like, oh, a nugget. This looks pretty nasty.
On a table of food. So they've got that, which I love, which is funny.
But unfortunately, the lights come on and we find out that they are absolutely surrounded by cootie kids.
They are basically in a play equipment place, but it's set up like the Thunderdome.
Yeah, they're now in the
from Mad
Thunderdome.
Max, but it's like one of those, you know, one of those things that you put your kids in and they're kind of, it's kind of like a big cage and they crawl through it and all that shit. It's like that, but it's a 360 room of that. So all the kids are in this cage.
You are fucked.
Yeah,
you are fucked,
it's the Thunderdome. The kids now rule.
And we think, shit, it's about to go down.
Like this red lighting.
They're all about to die. This is horrible. This is the way they go down. Teachers being destroyed by children. But no, someone...
Suddenly the door smashes open. There's dry ice and shit. And it's fucking Wade and the janitor. They're not dead. And Wade pulls out the line, anyone order a badass? He has a super soaker.
He does, and he starts spraying all the kids with this super soaker, kind of distracting them while the others escape. And they kind of like, they've backed up into the door, so they're jumping into the back of the fucking stoners.
Whenever I see a super soaker in a movie, I just assume there's piss in it.
Yeah.
Because what was that in? Like, it's piss.
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, the movie where, yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up after.
But yeah, I just assume there's always... If someone ever sprays me with a super soaker, I have been sprayed with a super soaker that has piss in it by a bully. I have had it done at high school.
Gross.
So it's because it's so easy to piss into those bottles.
Make better life choices.
And yeah.
The others escape.
The samurai ninja janitor, I think he sacrifices himself again in this scene or some shit. We don't know what happens.
I don't know.
Anyhow, Wade gives them another opportunity to get the gang into Hurley's van.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hurley.
Yeah,
He's there. Hurley, as in the shroom guy. He was with them. He drove them there. They backed in. I don't fucking know. They backed into the wall and smashed through like the thing. They all get into the van. Anyhow, Wade jumps into the car and, you know, Clint's like, why are you spraying with with water? He goes, you know, it's not water.
Yeah.
And he lights a match, throws it down. It was petrol. And then there's another line like, nap time, motherfuckers.
He like chucks on his aviators, lights it up. He's like, let's roll.
Yeah, he had some good lines in that bit. I thought that was good.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, we assume it's petrol.
Yeah.
They don't actually say it.
No. But it's some kind of flammable substance.
Wade gets into the van, and now Lucy hugs Wade, and then and then they just drive off, and it's the end.
Yep.
And I was like, hang on, what happened with Lucy, Clint, and Wade's like story, like with their love story? Because she like admitted that she liked him. They got together. Wade sacrificed. I'm like, ugh.
Well, they're clearly going to have to go and have a coffee and sit down and have a talk about it.
Some of my final thoughts I've already said.
Yes, you have.
Yeah. You know, it was a cool film because they used kids, But because they used kids, you couldn't do the brutal deaths. Like, I liked the adults that they couldn't turn into zombies, and it made it like there wasn't as much like of those tropes that were going to happen, so they could do a bit more. It did seem though that I thought the kids weren't very threatening. I feel if it was a child like running at you and they're not going to turn you into a zombie, they couldn't pull you apart. They should have mentioned at some stage in it they gave them superhuman strength.
Yep.
Because like I was like, I don't buy that you'd be scared of a bunch of just kids.
No, well, it's like that quote in Family Guy. It's like I just back into a toilet stool and start kicking. Bam, dead kid, dead kid, dead kid. And I'm like, yeah, kids aren't. It's kind of like taking on Chucky. He's small.
And he's a doll. He doesn't have any weight to him. He has fluff inside of him. Oh, no, he had gore inside of him.
He did,
Because, we see it's inside, the characters are great, and I love the commentary on the gross middle class America. Like, love that shit. Like, you know, so many people don't realise that they're the cunts getting paid out in these films.
Yeah, no, they don't. Because, like, all of the kids in this film...
Don't give your kids drugs. There's nothing wrong with them.
Are just the
They're
worst.
just kids.
The teachers are just kind of doing their best and getting along in life. Again, Lee Whannell, Doug, he is the MVP. We obviously didn't really go into too much detail regarding like some of the
comedy
stuff
character,
and that he says.
If you want to watch this, I wanted to leave some of the coolness.
I'm going to find a clip, see if I can just put something up so you can have a brief Doug moment.
The best Doug moments.
Yeah. This is a very good film. Like, we talking about zombies a couple of weeks back, and we're both kind of like, we don't really like zombie films. I fucking love this film.
You love heaps of zombie films.
I know.
Brain Dead is like my favourite film, and it's a zombie film.
Yeah.
It's because you think about all the fucking shit that was this. When, like, Walking Dead was at its peak, you had every fucking
just everywhere.
Tom, Dick, and Noodle Dick going like, I fucking love zombies, man. I love Walking Dead. I love the way they hang out for 45 episodes and never show a zombie.
Yeah, that's so
and then, like, you know, you had the splurge of, like, the zombie films coming out.
Yeah.
You had all that. And then you had your Snyder films. And he's still doing them.
Yeah.
Fucking...
The Army of the Dead or something.
And there's a new one of Army of the Dead already. There's an offshoot.
Nah, I'm good. I like the soundtrack to this film as well. It's got that very sort of synth kind of vibe to it, but it's kind of really cool. I think I'll pick that up.
What did you get? You got the same as me.
Yeah. This is definitely a B. It's a beer and chicken wing group movie. This is the kind of film that...
But not nuggets. Beer and nuggets group movie.
I would invite people around to
serve
watch
nuggets
this.
and show it.
I would. They'd be gluten-free. It'd be fine. You could serve vegan nuggets. I don't know what you like.
I love vegan nuggets.
They are really good.
Have you seen the new meat on the news this morning? They're 3D printing meat.
Oh, yeah.
Plant-based 3D printed meat.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'm fucking on board. 3D print the world, motherfucker.
I just like any kind of... I'll try anything. I like nuggies.
You like nuggies?
As long as they're gluten-free, we're good.
Whose
now,
turn
it is your turn to pick a movie for next week because I chose Cooties. What are you going to do? So we've had a comedy.
The fact that you haven't seen The Blob is bullshit. You're a fuckhead for that.
I am a fuckhead for a lot of things, but not seeing The Blob is the biggest one.
We're going to watch the 1980... I'm going to say 5?
88.
8? Yeah, 88 Blob. Blonde, you just wrote?
Blonde. We're going to watch The Blonde.
The Blonde.
Blob.
The Blob. And you are going to be astounded at the amount of fucking practical gore effects in this film, I reckon.
I'm already astounded.
I feel it jumps the shark a bit at the end. Like
I'm okay with that.
With their green screening, they really didn't do very well because the blob had to be big and they couldn't make a big blob. So it's a little blob.
You know I like a jump shark.
Oh, you don't mind that?
No, you know me. I like a tappy.
Dude, it basically the main character of the Blob is the guy from the Hazard film clip. Do you remember Richard Marx Hazard?
Well, Shawnee Smith's in it as well.
Shawnee.
Anyhow,
we're going to get into that. I reckon that's going to be a great episode because the Blob is just there's so much to talk about and like this.
And also, we won't have a 2-week break.
No, we had like a month off.
We did.
We don't apologise for that. We just, number one, we just needed a break. We got really busy in our work.
Oh my God, I'm so busy.
And that was the reason why we did it. And number two, we don't get paid for this. We do this for fun. We don't, if we have to not do it for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it's fine because we just do this for fun and the love. And, you know, for you guys for free. Like, we don't get paid. We don't get anything out of this. We made T-shirts. We paid for them.
We did. We did pay for them. And
we are probably going to do another run of T-shirts.
Yeah,
Did you ever organise that one of the people in
No.
surfing in Sydney?
because I've got to find where I've put them. I've put them in a safe place because I do that with everything in my life. I put it in a safe
I'm sorry,
place.
Chris Franks.
Yeah, I apologise,
who is
Chris.
he wants a T-shirt.
I know I'm getting there,
Avid
Chris.
listener of the show, Chris.
Chris, I
We don't
apologise.
you should get on our socials, Chris, and chat it up, you motherfucker.
Yeah, chat it up. Tell me off on the socials.
We get a lot of fans messaging us privately.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we can't really say their name, but I'm going to say Chris Franks' name heaps because he can't get out of it.
Yeah.
Chris Franks.
I will get to you when I get home today, I will find where I've put them. I will make sure I've got your size. I will contact you. I will get it all shipped out on Monday.
I bet you won't.
I bet I won't, but I will attempt it, and I say it with such conviction. You have been listening to TerrorVision Horror Podcast with Dan and Jennifer. We are available on all major podcasting services and also on the YouTube. But no matter where you choose to consume us, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment or a review, and make sure you share it with all your fucking friends. You can interact with us on both Facebook and Instagram at TerrorVision Pod. It'll keep you up to date with upcoming episodes, trivia, and of course memes that are 100% 3 years old by now. We also have an email, terrorvisionpod@gmail.com. If you want to contact us that way, I always forget to check it.
And until next week, sever your wang.